Hello, we are team number 7, um, interred by Mafer Ceja, Jocelyn Luna, Willow William, and me, Alma Ramirez. And we are talk about agreement for Transpacific partnership. The members of the agreement Transpacific partnership are Australia, Brunei, Canada, Japan, Malaysia, Mexico, New Zealand, Peru, Singapore, and Vietnam. The objective, the goal of the negotiation process of the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement is to create a platform for economic integration across the Asia-Pacific region. The countries participating in the negotiation of TPP intend to design a high-quality, inclusive agreement that lays the foundations for economic growth, development, and generation of employment in the member countries, and that in turn become the basis for the future Asia-Pacific Free Trade Agreement. The TPP seeks to lower trade barriers, establish economic market of intellectual property, reinforce the standards of labor law, environmental law, establish a dispute arbitration mechanism, and more inclusive trade. The growth of SMEs in international trade is promoted through the collation of paperwork, internet access, trade facilitation, rapid delivery of parcels, which is the basis of trade. Establish a cooperation and capacity building committed to identify of examine areas for joint work and promote sustainable international trade. Sustainable development is promote commitments are established for to fulfill obligations of the parties under the conventions on international trade, in especially endangered wild fauna and flora. A sustainable forest management was agreed. It promotes good and governments and greater access to information with anti-corruption points regarding bribery and corruption to attack the effects of this and transparency that seeks to guarantee that its laws, regulations, and administrative provisions of general application.
The relationship with Mexico, the trade will allow Mexican companies to actively participate in the dynamic networks of value chains to have prosperity in Asia, not only in manufacturing but also in the service sector, in addition to the fact that the trade seeks to encourage Mexican companies to participation in the global economy, and not only to large companies but also the SMEs. At the national level, the CPTPP countries are the source of 10% of the foreign direct investment received by Mexico. The country's GDP growth projection reaches 1.5% per year, according to data from the Ministry of Economy. The main Mexican industries benefited from the agreement are the automotive, petrochemical, textile, and clothing industries are the most important sectors in the Mexican economy, and all three benefit from the CPTPP. The petrochemical industry is also a motor of the Mexican economy. Global trade in this sector represents 9.8% of the global trade, and the CPTPP region accounts for 24.5% of world trade in this industry. It should be noted that the CPTPP trade, Mexico represents 10.6% of the total of the partners, highlighting in terms of export automobiles, telephones, cell phones, auto parts, vehicles for the transport of goods, television, crude petroleum oils, computers, tractors, pineapples, avocados, mangoes, and engine parts. Regarding imported products, integrated electronic circuits, auto parts, automobiles, telephones, cell phones, diodes, transistors, semiconductors, petroleum oils except crude, cooling devices, protection or connection of electrical circuit, telescope, periscope, lasers, and etc. Next, please. The business opportunities with Mexico, the CPTPP will allow Mexico to promote products from the automotive, aerospace, medical devices, electrical equipment, cosmetic sectors, as well as products from the agri-food sector such as tequila, mezcal, beer, avocado, berries, beef, pork, and juice of orange. Perhaps the greatest benefit offered by the CPTPP is that it will eliminate most tariffs between member countries and will imply significant reductions in those that remain. Also, it provides efficient and transparent customs producers that will facilitate the movement of goods between member countries and includes specific chapters to establish rules that facilitate the exchange of services.
Okay, now about the Trans-Pacific Partnership Commission. This is the decision-making body of the trade agreement, which was established with the entry into force of the Trans-Pacific Partnership Agreement on December 30, 2018. So the Commission is responsible, among many responsibilities, for the approval of new organizations or countries that wish to join the treaty, and also deals with issues of common interest such as economic and trade negotiations, exchange of goods and services, no tariff regulation and tariff regulations, rules of origin, trade facilitations, small and medium-sized enterprises, among other responsibilities. And about the enlargement of the trade agreement, the CPTPP rules require that all 11 signatories agree to the admission of additional members. And an interesting fact is that from 2019 to date, the Commission has met 5 times in the different member countries to negotiate, and this year the host country will be Singapore.
And CPTPP programs. Monitoring program related to textile and apparel companies registered in Vietnam to exchange information and support risk management in the identification and attention of customs infractions related to the textile sector, formalized through an exchange of communication date March 8, 2018 between the governments of the United Mexican States and the Socialist Republic of Vietnam. Um, this agreement was published in the date of November 30, 2018, and will enter into force on January 14, 2019. Next, please. Activities. In relation to the approach, Article 26.10 of the CPTPP make reference to the following aspects. And the number one is promote citizen and private sector participation in preventing and combating corruption. Increase public awareness of the existence, causes, and serious of corruption and the threat it represents. Seek the encourage the establishment of international auditing controls, as well as to ensure that accounting and financial systems are audited and certified. The ensure public disclosure of anti-corruption bodies and provide access for reporting incidents that may constitute bribery and corruption offenses.
Thank you.